What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nolan. You know the brand. It's an NC Visuals, and I'm here again with the Road to Olympia with my boy Mark, and he brought a special guest with him. What's up, Brandon?
What's up, you guys? What's up, you guys? B. Laurent.
Oh man, this is the posing king of San Diego. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna lie to nobody else, but I'm telling you, Brandon is the champ. So first of all, welcome back, Mark. What's good?
What's good, Nolan, man? It's good to be back.
Hey,
always
back
doing
again.
great work.
We always doing it big, man. we moving in the right direction, man.
Always, man. We don't ever slow up.
We can't, especially you, because you got a big plate to eat off of this year, right?
Bro, it's a hell of a year that we already looking at, that we preparing for and planning for. So each and every day is just another day in the books, you know what I'm saying, to get to where we're trying to get to, and that's the Olympia by December.
And in order to do that, you have to be 100% on stage.
100%.
And posing, as we talked about in one of our other episodes, is one of those things that you gotta have. I think we even said that posing is the important thing on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously your diet and your look play a very big part of it, but you can be super fit, super trim on stage, but if your posing is garbage, that can knock you down on the books, right?
Right, man. Because you can have a better physique overall. You can be in better shape, leaner than someone, bigger than someone. But if you're not able to present that, you know, on stage better than the next man over, then you just put yourself at a disadvantage. See, posing is, and I know Brandon can attest to this, posing is like doing your best to hide your inefficiencies or hiding your negativities, right? To just show the positive aspects of your body from specific angles. So if you get on stage and you have a great physique, you're lean, you got full muscle bellies, your abs are popping, but you showing, you know, a wide midsection, you know, just sloppy, you know, hunched over, chest is low, but the next man over is smaller build than you, but he's presenting everything from a whole well-rounded aspect, then, you know, you got to go with what looks better.
Right.
You know?
So with that, welcome to the stage, Brandon. What's good, bro?
Oh, man, you know, same old, just grinding. I've been taking care of business.
This dude is so cool, man. Like he just all the way cool, man. So let's run through your pedigree, man. Where you from originally, and how'd you get here?
I'm originally from San Diego, California.
Okay,
one of the rare ones out here.
Very rare.
Yeah.
And so you're from here. What got you into fitness?
What got me into fitness, to be honest, I used to live a wild life. And
haven't we all?
You know, the health wasn't up to par like it should be, and I knew I needed to get it right. And then fell in love with bodybuilding because it was always something that I needed to feel like I wanted to achieve a certain look. And here we are, and I'm still trying to achieve that certain look, and I'm helping people do their thing as well. You know?
You know what? It's my bad, folks out here. I have to say that both of these gentlemen are pros. They both, because Brandon, you just got your pro card.
Yes, sir.
When did you get your pro card?
Masters USA in December in Arizona.
Okay.
Overall, took the show.
So that's a big thing in the bodybuilding world, because that's just another step to the top. You know what I mean? So congratulations to both of y'all for achieving that goal this year.
Can you throw in like the crowd?
Yeah, damn right. I'll throw it in, man.
The crowd goes crazy.
But
yeah, man, that's a big achievement. And you went from bodybuilding. How many shows have you done, roughly?
Woo. I'd probably say I've been doing this for a while, since 2015. But I kind of like grew up in the sport, man. Like I started working out, and after a couple years, I started competing. So like I was literally bones and skin, and then it just kept gradually growing. You know, I'd say well over 7 shows.
That's what's up. That's
a lot.
And so what got you from the competition side to saying, hey, I want to coach, actually doing, you know, the posing?
I never really looked at myself as a posing coach, you know what I mean? Like I just more so helped a lot of people around San Diego, and it took word, and you know, I helped Mack out, and around that same time, a lot of people started hitting me up, and I guess I'm the posing coach, and now we got BL Fitness and Posing.
That's really how I started. Like when I did my first show back in 2020, what was it, 2020? That's the year COVID started, right? Well, I ain't gonna say that word, but that's the year that the pandemic started. I was just doing the show willy-nilly with no coach, so I really didn't even know like posing or anything centered around it. But a friend of mine, Jeremy, was like, hey, he knows a guy that actually works at our company and can help with the posing aspect, right? So he introduced me to Brandon, and starting off, man, we was grinding out of his crib, you know, just a spare bedroom, and doing what we had to do. He molded a piece of shit, you know, it was like a bag of shit, you know what I mean? And somehow he shaped that, man, to some coal, and then that coal got pressurized, and then we built the diamond out of that. So it was pretty cool.
So one of the things that me and Brendan were talking about prior to us rolling was the importance of posing. Like when do you think is a good time for a competitor to actually start looking for a coach or a routine, or to even just practice the posing to be on stage?
As soon as you could actually see something like visible as far as like abs or any kind of lines, I would say some people nowadays, that's like 20 weeks out. You know what I mean? Like people are lean. They're not getting fat because they're competitors. So they got to stay somewhere in striking distance. You know what I mean? So I think it's something you should do year round. But the best part, like, you should do it like year round. Year round.
And then when you do a pose, so because throughout the year there's several shows you can do, right? Is it good for you to stick with the same routine or switch it up a little bit?
I would say it's good to switch it up because some people, as Mack said earlier, they try to hide their weaknesses. Well, eventually that weakness might come up and you could turn to this side and it's like, oh shit. But if you never actually turn to that side and try, because that side looked good at a certain time, then you'll never know.
Right.
That's pretty good. No, I mean, I switched my routine up plenty of times. Like working with him from my first show, we just had to get the basics. Like I didn't even know the pose the basics. But then, you know, after that year, going into the year where we, you know, this past year actually, we started to play around a lot with different transitions and different movements, you know what I'm saying, just to kind of figure out my build. So everything that works for some may not work for others. So even though you do, to your point, find a good routine that may work for you as you continue to grow, that you might have to switch it up because now your body's different.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So you have to always adjust to how your body's adjusting to the plan.
So one thing that I know is when you get on stage, you have to sell that shit, right? You can't walk on stage with a solid routine but not have the confidence on stage. How important really is confidence when it comes to being on stage and doing your routine?
It's very important. You know what I mean? Like I tell people, the judge is judging you way before you even get on the stage. Like if you look good and you're in the background, they're already peeping you. So if you're running around mad dogging people, then chances are they're going to be like, this guy's an ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'd say it starts from the time you step into that function.
So it's kind of like being confident but not overly arrogant. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to walk like, you know what I'm saying, like your nuts hanging. Like you do on the stage. Like I'm the best person there, but you don't want to come off as like the asshole, to your point, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's a fine line of being able to just kind of walk that walk without just overstepping too much.
So there's a balance. So it's like, you know, you want to own the stage and command the stage, but you don't want to come off too cocky. So yeah, I mean that's because I you know, we just watched a couple of competitions going in to this year and just seeing the different amount of posing and stuff. And one question I have for you, Brandon, is one thing I've noticed is now there's a lot more, and I think it started a little bit with Kai Green. I could be mistaken, but there are a lot more theatrics in posing. Is that important to kind of bring something new to the stage, or is that little, you know, what do you think?
Definitely. It's very important. You know what I mean? You want to have dramatic posing.
Right.
You know, that's what captivates people and gives it that awe factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say so. Like a lot of my movements that I do are kind of like I flow. Right. And that, like, you know, people like that.
Right. So how, Mark, so when you guys are on stage posing, and I know we talked about this earlier, is you don't have a lot of time on stage.
Not
you know
at
what
all.
I'm saying? You have 30 seconds if at best,
which is a lot. Like
That's
30 seconds is long.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
not at the NPC level.
So when you're posing and you're trying to show off the best you got, like how long is it between each pose? Because you don't want to switch from one pose to the next without actually showing that muscle group, right? So in your mind, is that something like, man, I got to hit this pose, and I got to make sure, like, I hit it for a certain amount of time, or is it just right into the pose, right into the look, and then keep going?
So it's kind of like you practice it for a certain amount of time. So like once you hit a pose, you kind of in your head count 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing too long, but nothing too short, because the thing about posing is that the judges pretty much give you that one look. Wow, like once they look up is what they see. So you want to make sure it's long enough to where every judge on the panel can get that look of your best shot and not kind of catch you in a transition to where you may be looking out of character or out of proportion or whatever, out of balance.
Right.
So you do definitely want to kind of practice it for that time frame. But then once you're on that stage, you just kind of try to flow through it at the same time. But at the NPC level, it's really just the poses. It's just the shots, like the front, the back. You know what I'm saying? Everything in between is kind of fluff. But at the pro level, because you do have that much more time to be on the stage, that's where they do want to see that wow fact, like that extra kind of theatrical performance to kind of help give that visual or kind of excite the crowd or give a good performance, because you're a pro,
Right.
You're a pro performer at the same time. So that I would say would be like the difference between the two.
So Brandon, I have a question for you. What's more important, impressing the judges or getting the crowd on your side?
And I would say for sure impressing the judges. They're the ones that's gonna give you the pro card. But you know what I mean? Like if you're like me, I feel like this. When I step out on the stage, I'm locked in with the crowd and I'm locked in with the judges. I'm gonna get more reaction out of the crowd than the judges. So why not have the crowd react first? So the judges be like, oh, okay, this guy must be a guy that I need to look out for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be like channeling the energy. You know what I'm saying? Like the crowd gives you that good energy for you to feed off of and kind of give to the judge.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, the crowd makes me feel good, so that can boost your confidence to perform better. So now that I'm performing better, I'm locked in with the judges to show them, hey man, you see my confidence, you see the swag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To kind of keep it cool.
100.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing, because you can sell the judges as much as you want, but man, when the crowd just goes crazy off of you, what I'm saying? Especially if they're not there for you. Everybody brings their team, everybody brings their squad with them, and who brought who into the audience and stuff. But when you come out there and they're just like, fuck, this dude looks good.
Yeah.
Damn, his posing's on point. Now they're yelling for you. Now the crowd is getting louder. You know what I'm saying? I think. I mean, do you think that would add points to the judge?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Because the judges have a strict criteria that they follow to,
Right.
kind of judge. But I don't know what all those categories are. I could not tell you. I don't know if Brandon might know, but I don't know exactly what it is like that there.
It's just an overall package.
Right.
If you come out on the stage and you're up there pop locking and then everybody's like, oh yeah, the judge is not going to give you any points. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing that because I know like I said, this could be the reason why I brought that question up is mainly just because like Kai Green was really big into like the pop locking and stuff like that. But I also see like during the shows, you see the competitor to get on the stage and they're just telling the crowd to like, come on, get into it or whatever. And I didn't know if that had anything to do with judging. Obviously, I know there's a checklist that you got to go by, but I didn't know if that was something that was also that could help you.
But it's a little different though, man. That's
you're talking about
bodybuilding. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
bodybuilding. That's common in bodybuilding.
I still don't think that they like really judge off of that. Like when they ask for the pose down and people are doing all the come on, it's it's still how good do you look?
Right. It's a performance, and it gets the crowd and the viewers into it. But I don't think Kai Green started that at all. Like bodybuilding back in the 80s, 90s, had guys breakdancing, doing all type of performances or like things that are out of the ordinary that you would normally see out of bodybuilders. Kai Green just kind of like that was kind of like his niche,
right.
like the thing that he just kind of gravitated towards and just made popular with himself and his body. So he's kind of like the front runner when it comes to, or like the face of a bodybuilder that performs in those type of extravagant theatrical type of performances. But Nah.
So you know what, that actually brings a big question. And the reason why I'm asking a lot of these questions is because I'm still kind of new into the sport. You know what I'm saying? I'm still understanding the difference between, you know, the different levels and stuff. But so posing for physique is different than other categories, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So kind of take us into, obviously there's people who are competing, but the people like myself who are just getting into it. What is the difference between physique posing?
The difference between physique posing and classic physique, or
either one of them.
open?
I'm just like, what's the between the all of them? Like, what's
Men's
so
physique
different?
is front, back. That's it.
And a peace sign, front, back, and a peace sign.
And that's it. So when you're on stage, that's mainly what you're. And I know we talked about like, you know, leg day and stuff like that. So yeah, this shows off, you know, and the posing is front, back, and that's it.
Right, right. Which is why initially a lot of men's physique competitors get a bad rap, because you only judge from the waist up. So a lot of guys take that and just run with it and say, okay, I don't have to focus on my legs. You know what I'm saying? Because technically you're not being credited for your legs. It makes you look more aesthetic, which I think personally everybody should shoot for that anyway. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like legs aren't included, so that's why they wear the board shorts or the trunks. Classic physique is the next level up, and it's the one under open bodybuilding. Now that's where I kind of have a struggle with kind of understanding the differences between the two, because they both wear like I don't know, what do you call those?
Briefs.
You know what I'm saying? They both wear the briefs and have similar pose positions, but I don't know the difference in like the two. You know what I'm saying?
Between open and classic?
Yeah, like it looks the same. Like as far as their
it's a lot of the
performances.
same poses, but it's just a whole different look. Basically, with classic, it's just men's physique guys with nice legs, nice aesthetic looks. Open is really big guys, just, you know what I mean?
Hey, that's the simplest way he could have.
that's about it. Yeah,
helped me understand.
That just made me understand it too. So, so Brandon, when it comes to, and this is more of a question for me, because I might be asking for your services one of these days. Someone who's not planning on getting on stage, would posing be good for them to understand their muscle groups and how to activate muscles? I understand that posing is mainly for competitors and stuff, but the reason why I'm asking this question is because watching you do your class, and showing the people who are there, like, hey, in order to make your abs pop, this is the look you're going for. You make your back go. So if me going into the gym had just a basic knowledge of different poses, wouldn't that help like me knowing like, I got to work on my abs a little bit more? Like that's weak. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand where I'm coming from that?
I see what you're saying, but for the most part, somebody that was just regular and wasn't thinking about competing but wanted to actually like have posing help there, I don't really see anybody posing for real at that point.
Yeah.
Just for the
Like,
heck of it.
Like I'll have people like hit a back pose in between a set, kind of like a superset thing, so they could get more engaged with what we're trying to feel when we hit our back poses.
Right.
But, you know, that's still for somebody that's competing. I wouldn't give anybody any posing things, any tips to help their training.
Just for fun. But I think if someone was to like just regularly practice their posing and didn't have plans to get on stage, eventually they'll get on stage.
I think so. I think that's my way of talking myself. If I learn how to pose and I start actually looking good, then maybe I can get on stage and do something. So, Mark,
Yep.
when you get on stage, how hard is it to pose? Now, if I'm not mistaken, you're depleted.
Right.
You're at what percentage of body fat were you at when you were on stage?
Man, you know, I didn't do the little scan. I don't know.
So just around about where you think you might have been sitting at.
I'm gonna just guess like around maybe 3 or 4. I don't know.
3, 4. What about you, Brandon? Where were you at when you were on stage?
Probably about like 4.5.
Okay, so you guys are depleted. You guys have been traveling, and you getting on stage like you're all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
How a lot of people don't understand how hard posing is when you're at that level right there.
It's an exercise already by itself. Like just posing by itself will make you sweat.
Right.
You know, when you're doing it right. But when you're depleted, so you're not necessarily as depleted when you're on stage because you get your refeed, you get all these carbs in you to give you the energy to make your muscle bellies really full for the stage. So you're not like really dying leading into it. But once you get on that stage and now it's time for the pose down where they line everybody up and just have you go front, back, back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
You get exhausted. Like you get really tired. And that's where you'll see a lot of guys kind of take that little slight break in between. Like say if they're up, they'll just kind of come down, take a deep breath and kind of come back up. Because you gotta get your breath is all I'm trying to do.
And this is why I said posing is good year round.
Yeah.
Conditioning.
And that's funny because I do remember when you were doing your class, you were telling the guys like, hey, when you're in that pose, hold the pose. Like you don't want to take that break. Obviously, I mean, if you're getting ready to pass out or something's wrong, then I mean you got to do what you got to do. But like you said, that conditioning is setting you up for that. So that 1 second that one guy comes out of his pose and you're still holding it, the judges see that.
Game changer.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good point. So yeah, like you said, man, definitely the conditioning and getting into it like year round, not leading up to So if I'm committed to a show, let's just say the show's 6 months away, at the bare minimum, when should I actually be doing a routine? For
I would say about 8 weeks.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Nice.
Like 8 weeks out.
So and why is that?
Because that's at that point you're lean enough, like he said earlier, you're lean enough to start to see those good lines, like the abs, the obliques, to where you can start to try to build your performance or build that look that you're looking for. And as the weeks go on, as you start to get leaner, then you make little fine tweaks.
Right. Okay. That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. I feel like I'm gonna ask so many questions, man. I hope for y'all out there who haven't competed yet or actually, if you're thinking about competing, man, like I hope you take heed to this because like this is a very important part of the process. And how many hours do you say that you would commit through a day for posing?
At least 30 minutes to an hour.
Shit. I might be a little behind. I mean, I do about a half hour though, honestly. Like once it's time.
That pump.
Yeah, once it's that time, man. But that's the hardest time to pose. That is the hardest time to pose. It's like right after a workout, you go upstairs into the mirror, man. Your shoulders are in pain, your back is full, and you don't really, because your muscles are so tired already just from the workout. You don't have that mind muscle connection to give that move, like make a move how you want them to.
Right.
So it's kind of like good to practice it in that aspect because once you're like, good, you're flaccid, you're loose and everything, you can start making everything activate how you want it to. It helps you with your control.
That's what's up, man. And so the mind body activation during posing, how like run us through that because, I see the guys on stage and they're grabbing their leg, trying to make sure that they're set, and then you could just see, man. It's God. Like if you guys haven't watched the bodybuilding competition, just watching them on stage and just seeing how connected they are with their bodies, and seeing the fibers move and stuff like that. Just so Brandon, like when you're doing posing and stuff like that, like how is that? How is that mentality when you're on stage? Like, because you're thinking about not only nailing the poses, you're talking about your body activation, making sure the muscles are popping and stuff, making sure that you're showing the judges. Like, there's a lot going on in your mind during that time.
Just practice enough.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? When I did my last show, a lot of people were sitting down waiting to go on stage. Me, I was posing.
Right.
Just posing. So I knew when I got on the stage, it was just nothing because I've been doing it outside in front of that camera for the past 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. God, yeah, it's amazing what you guys do, man.
Yeah, but I will say this though, like for your first couple shows, it's nerve wracking, man.
Oh, I can imagine.
You spend so long preparing for a show, and then it's like the lights are on, and the guy in front of you just went on stage, and you literally know you're next. You're like, fuck. Like I was working with Brandon, and he took what I had and actually made it really, really well. He made my physique work.
Right.
But because I was so new, I psyched myself out once it was time to get on that stage. And that goes to the point of having what you feel or what other people may see, a better physique, a better body than the next man. But if you can't present that, then why would I give you the trophy?
So is it important? Is it good to say that? So there are major shows you want to hit. would it be good for you to get those jitters out just going to like smaller shows? Just to get on. I mean, obviously you want to make sure that you're in shape for the shows, but moreover, prepping for the bigger shows, would it be good for you to do a show just so you can kind of get used to being in front of the crowd? Yeah,
at least one warm-up show.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Mark? It looked like you was.
I did. The Ronnie, I had a little, like, if I had to see where he was going with that at first. Like,
right.
The Ronnie Coleman show that I did last year was kind of like a warm-up for the show I did out here.
Okay.
So yeah. I can see that.
So me, now we got to talk about photography for a minute because this is where I geek out at. I know for us, lighting is a very big thing. Have you ever walked into a venue and been like, shit, the lighting sucks?
Nah, the lights are bright.
Yeah.
The only thing I would be weird about is the backstage, the like the oil that they put on you.
Right.
You know, sometimes some skins like soak it up to where once you get on stage, you're not as shiny, so it doesn't really
dry.
hit.
Yeah.
It doesn't really hit those obliques or those lines just right, like how you want it to.
Right.
So it's like that's what I worry about. Like, man, I want to be glistening. You know what I mean? I need to be seen.
Yeah.
I really can't tell you because I'm not the one judging.
Right. Yeah.
So like I know for like pictures, it looks you could tell, okay, this guy looked better at this show. Like for example, the E Banks, the Olympia, and the Arnold. It's two different lightings, so you really couldn't tell. You know?
Yeah. And that's one thing. That's why I was wondering is if when you walk into the venue just to get ready to get psyched up on stage, if you look at the lighting because you know obviously overhead lighting can cast shadows and show off a little bit more of the muscle, and then obviously if it's too bright, it's gonna flatten you out. Right. But I would think that's you know when they set up these shows they have that in mind. So but I can tell in certain pictures that people do take during the competitions, like lighting's a lot different, so people pop a little bit differently. So but all right, man, well listen, Brandon, how can people find you in the San Diego? Hell, if you want to fly them out and learn how to pose, I'm sure you might say yes to that too, but how do they find you?
Just contact me on Instagram at B_Laurent_619.
That's what's up. B Laurent. That's how you spell Laurent, because I know how I spell
LAURENT.
That's what's up. All right. And my boy Mark, where can they find you?
They can find me on the news. They can find me on the stage. They can find me anywhere, man. But man, Instagram is Mack Muscle Fit. Really all social media platforms. So make sure you tap in.
Make sure you tap in, and you guys already know where to find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram at NNC_visuals. And I'm still working on the TikToks. The TikToks are coming, bro.
Bro, we too old, bro.
No, I will not accept it. Brandon, are you doing TikToks yet?
That's how I feel about that. That's how I feel about that TikTok. I'll go to sleep on it.
Hey, some of the videos be funny though. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Man,
I'm talking about me doing it.
Oh yeah, you.
Yeah, oh no, this ain't it.
I'm still working on it, man. I've pushed some stuff out. I've done a little bit of some little videos that's been getting out there, man. But I don't know if I can be dancing yet. Oh man. Speaking of TikToks, last thing before we go, have you checked out my boy's jumping flip skills? I'm gonna put it at the end of this video right here. I'm gonna put this guy right here, for his size and how big he is,
off the chain.
He can freaking just flip all over the place. Anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. We're out.